Tech for Senior, episode 45, February the 1st, 2021. 45. Wow. I'd like to welcome everyone to the show today. I'd like to welcome all our guests on our current channel with our Zoom meeting. We also are broadcasting over on YouTube Live. I'd like to welcome all our guests over there as well. We have a 100 in our Zoom meeting now, and a whole bunch over on the live stream as well. So it's nice to see both services up and running. Things are a little bit different. We're going to on our Zoom meeting. The meeting will go for 60 minutes, and then we have a question and answer for 15 minutes. On the live over on YouTube Live, we'll be going for about 50 minutes, and then we will be stopping the show just before Ray's music comes on, and we'll be ending the live meeting. If you want to watch the whole show and you are on the live meeting, then it's taped, and we tape the whole show, and that within 24 hours it will be up on our YouTube site. Now, if you are wondering where to find that, my advice would be to head over to www.techforsenior.com, and you'll be able to sign up for our newsletter, and we will send you a copy twice a week of the updated links. If you get kicked off or something happens from technology wise and you can't get back into the meeting and you're wondering, how do I get to the live stream, all you have to do again is go to our website, www.techforsenior.com. Right at the top, you will see a link that says live stream, and it will take you right to the live stream, and you can watch that there. I just want to share my screen one more time before I introduce our guest today. I'm just going to share it. I want to just share this one more time. I have the picture I wanted to share with you. This is a picture. Now, last week, as you know, Bob and Huey, I got them. I got my Oculus Quest, and that was my new technology. And I thought that I was so smart. Huey, do you want to explain exactly what's happening here? And are you running around trying to get are you trying to get ahead of me again? Can you explain this picture?
I was ahead of you. I was ahead of you before you thought you were ahead of me. This picture, Mike Ungerman sent me a copy of it, and I believe he must have sent you a copy as well. We were at CES in 2012 in Las Vegas, and I was wearing uh, one of the headsets back then when they were still experimenting with them. And I think Mike also sent a picture to me, maybe to you as well, of him wearing it and so we got to see them back in 2012. So I had the heads up, if you'll pardon the play on words, on you on this.
You were 9 years ahead of me. Can you believe that?
See, you thought you put one up on me.
Hey, tell us how you're doing. We're really happy to see you back. Let me stop sharing. Do you want to tell us? You had a bit of a experience last week. Can you tell us how you're feeling?
Yeah, it was planned.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's been planning for about 18 years. Uh, my aortic valve has been closing steadily over the years, and the doctors always said, "You're not quite there yet. We'll have to keep looking at it." Well, last year they decided it was time to really look at it. And so I went to a cardiologist. And so on Wednesday, I went into the hospital. And Wednesday morning, they did a TAVR, which is an acronym for going through my legs and going up and putting a new valve and replace my aortic valve. Uh, Gave me the anesthesia and put me under, and I was back in the room in a couple hours. First time in almost in all of my life that I've ever been in a hospital, which is amazing in itself. But they said there's a 50-50 chance that I might also need a pacemaker. And as luck would have it, I did. So about 4 o'clock, they sent me back down to the OR, put me under again with the happy juice, and put a pacemaker in.
Wow.
So by Friday, I was home. I'm uncomfortable. There's itching where it's healing, and there's uh, it's hard to get comfortable. I have to wear a sling so I don't use my arm, my left arm, and pull the wires out from the pacemaker. But other than that, I actually am doing pretty good.
That's great. That's unbelievable. I can remember back when I was practicing medicine a long time ago. That's many, many years ago. When someone had their aortic valve replaced, it was big time. They were in hospital a long time. They cracked the chest. It was a lot of opened the heart up on bypass and all that sort of stuff. It is pretty incredible. And wow, I phoned you Thursday afternoon. We had a nice chat. I couldn't believe it. Like unbelievable what medicine is coming to. I should have maybe stuck around a little longer, eh?
Yep. They improved in spite of you.
Well, there you go. Well, it's nice to see you, and I'm glad you're doing well. And I know that I gave you the week off, so there's nothing here. You just sit back and enjoy the show today. All right.
I am planning on doing just that.
All right. Ray, are you still shoveling snow?
Oh, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures when it's my turn.
Okay.
Just under 30 inches.
Do you have a snow? Well, I guess you'll tell us about your snowblower.
Yes. You're looking at it.
All right. And what about Dewey? Now, Dewey, are you getting a tan, or what are you doing down there other than eating oranges and enjoying life?
You about nailed it. Finally, I've got my yard pretty well done, and you'll see results a little later today when I do my presentation. It's just a small bit, but we're doing well, and it's a little cloudy today, but very sunny.
Now, did you get your first shot?
Yes.
20th.
And we have our second shot on February 10th.
Ah, it's pretty cool, eh? Yeah. Now, did you have to wait long? Like, I know you drove in and was it just boom, boom, and you were gone?
It was, you get an appointment, but they don't take you exactly by appointment as long as you're on the right day and so forth. And it took about an hour and went through the line and the various protocols and got it all done. Very well run by Maricopa County at the Arizona Cardinals Stadium, which is, I guess it's called the first, what is it?
State Farm.
State Farm Stadium.
State Farm Stadium, eh?
In Glendale.
Well, that's cool. Great. Well, all right then. And thank you for contributing this week. We'll be playing your video shortly. But I think what we'll do now, as you're probably all wondering, where the heck's Bob, right? Well, Bob's a busy guy. He's doing a lot of presentations. He does his. Now, you probably remember Bob travels around to different clubs all across the United States, and he does his security talk. He has a 1-hour security talk that he does. So if you do have a club and you want him to come and speak, you just let Bob know, and he will travel over to your neck of the woods and do the talk. Now, most of what he does now is virtually. And so he's not actually going physically there, but in this case, on this Monday morning, I think he is actually physically there. So he's doing his presentation. He'll be doing it at our club at the end of February. So he did send his video along for me. So we will be doing that now, and I'm going to share my screen, and we'll play Bob's security update.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending January 29th, 2021. It is strongly suggested that you update your iPhone and iPad right now. Do you have an iPhone or an iPad? You should update your device right now to iOS 14.4. No, not later today or after lunch or whatever, but do it now. Why is it so critical to update your iOS software as soon as possible? As TechCrunch first reported, Apple is reporting 3 security vulnerabilities that may have been actively exploited by hackers. We don't have any real details yet, but Apple rarely has to admit such stunning vulnerabilities. The researchers who reported the security flaws have been granted anonymity by Apple. Again, update as soon as possible. Taking the Emotate botnet away from cyber criminals and into the hands of law enforcement. On January 27th, law enforcement agencies from around the world successfully wrested control of the Emotate botnet away from its operators. They also took new unprecedented steps to help possible Emotate victims. These steps hopefully bring to a close the story of one of the most adaptable and prolific attack groups out there. In one of the largest and most effective global takedown operations yet, police agencies from Canada, France, Germany, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Ukraine, the United Kingdom, and the United States, coordinated with Europol and Eurojust, took control of Emotate's servers. This put them in control of the botnet, also giving them the data the Emotate group has compiled on their victims. Score 1 for the good guys. Here's what your Fitbit knows about you. Let's start with the obvious. The purpose of a Fitbit is to help you track your health in various ways. Users can customize what they want to track. Here are some of the obvious items. Sleep, when and how much, heart rate, resting, 24/7 tracking, steps, how many per day, per hour, weight, including weight changes, food, calories in, food eaten, exercise, what you do, when you do it, how much you do it, what you do the most, friends. You can connect to your contacts, Facebook, email, or search by username. Device, which one you have, which hand you wear it on, and less obvious sharing information when you wake up and go to bed. Through silent alarms and sleeping tracking, profile information, birthday, sex, height, weight, location, if you share the information. Time zone, if you share your location, but it knows your time zone. IP address, if you visit the Fitbit website. It's up to you to weigh the many benefits offered by the device against its potential security and privacy implications. Knowledge puts that sharing decision into your hands. IOBIT Forums hacked to spread ransomware to its members. Windows utility developer IOBIT was hacked over the weekend to perform a widespread attack to distribute the strange Dewey ransomware to its forum members. IOBIT is a software developer known for Windows system optimization and anti-malware programs, such as Advanced System Care. Over the weekend, IOBIT forum members began receiving emails claiming to be from IOBIT, stating that they are entitled to a free 1-year license of their software as a special perk of being a forum member. Included in the email is a Get It Now link that redirects to another site that distributed a file, free IOBIT license promo.zip, which included the IOBIT Unlocker DLL, which was replaced with an unsigned malicious version. Hopefully, you didn't fall for this. Hacker posts 1.9 million Pixlr user records for free on forum. A hacker has leaked 1.9 million Pixlr user records containing information that could be used to perform targeted phishing and credential stuffing attacks. Pixlr is a very popular and free online application with many of the same features found in a professional desktop photo editor like Photoshop. While Pixlr offers basic editing tools for free, the site also provides premium membership that include more advanced tools, stock photos, and other features. Over the weekend, the threat actor known as Shiny Hunters shared a database for free on a hacker forum that he claims was stolen from Pixlr while he breached the 123 RF stock photo site. Pixlr and 123 RF are both owned by the same company, Imagine. Read more on Bleeping Computer. And that's all the security news for this week. Stay safe, stay secure. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, sorry everyone. I forgot I'm sharing the screen and not the app. So as we had actually one of our speakers drop out today, so I was looking for some other content I'm going to play, and I'd forgot that I was switching my screens. Uh-oh, Bob's going to kill me. He's going to watch this video for sure. I know. Anyway, here you're muted.
In the video, in your editing, you could just substitute the video.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll edit it out. Bob will never know, right? Exactly. Oh, I got to tell everybody something. You know what was really, I got to tell you what happened to me last night. What happened to Gail and I. So after dinner, we got, does anyone watch the series Justified? Has anyone watching the movie series Justified? Anyway, so it's the nice thing. Well, first of all, Justified is a cool series, and it's about a modern day sort of cowboy who's a U.S. Marshal. And it's the nice thing about Justified is it was made long before COVID, so they've got 78 series, 78 episodes out. So we're at about episode 40. Right? So we are into the thick of this. We're watching 2 episodes a night. We are absolutely glued to, good old Marshall Ryland there. We're glued to the movie. So last night we hopped in, got the TV going and went on Amazon Prime to watch the video. So we go and we click on it, and we could see it on the menu. And we click on it, nothing happened. And we couldn't actually ever get Justified to work on Amazon Prime. Well, so and then we went back, and looked at it again, it wasn't there. It was just, it's not available. And I thought, that is so weird. Then I read on the news this morning, I went on, of course, Google knows everything. And I went on, and it's been dropped by Prime. So those of you who are halfway through the series or are watching this and you're glued to the whole thing, they dropped the coverage. So it is no longer carried on Prime, and it's not available on Netflix. Isn't that a bummer? Because we're halfway through. Now you can buy each episode for $2.95, but we've got another 30 episodes to go. So just to let everybody know, Hulu TV now is going to carry it. But they're the only ones that are going to carry it is Hulu. So anyway, if you are watching Justified, I just thought I'd let everybody know. All right, I guess what we'll do now is we'll move on over to Dewey's section. Dewey, do you want me to play that for you?
Sounds good.
Okay, let's see what Dewey has to say here. We will, and I promise I won't change my screen on you. Let's share the screen.
Is tech news updates. I guess I've got about 4 of them. Good morning, everyone. This is Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is tech news updates. I guess I've got about 4 of them. Well, first one is zero-day cyber attack. At my presentation last week, I told you about a so-called zero-day cyber attack in Windows 10. started way back in Windows 8, I guess, which allowed attackers to corrupt an NTFS formatted hard drive using a short, simple hidden command. I also mentioned that attempts at finding a way to stop this attack have baffled some of the best computer minds. In the past week, bleepingcomputer.com reported that third-party developers from OSR, that's a software development company, have released an open source filter driver that disables this nasty bug. This filter driver is called i30FLT, and it will monitor attempts to access code strings that begin with the nasty string $i30. And if detected, block it before it triggers the bug. Microsoft has told bleepingcomputer.com that they will eventually fix this problem. However, if you're concerned that threat actors might just choose to use your computer to attack, the i30FLT filter is a good alternative while you wait. For complete information, do a Google search on the title, I'm showing it in bold, Windows 10 NTFS corruption bug gets unofficial temporary fix. Maybe I'll post that in the chat room for those of you who would like to see it. You may also search this at bleepingcomputer.com. Roku News. CordcutterNews.com reported that as of fourth quarter 2020, Roku has more than 51 million active accounts. That's a gain of nearly 40% for the year. They also reported that total streaming hours on Roku increased in 2020 by nearly 59 billion. That's an increase of 55%. The pandemic was obviously a factor in the increase of streaming hours in 2020, along with the present trend toward cord cutting. eMarketer, an industry newsletter, predicts that by the end of 2024, fewer than half of U.S. households will be subscribing to a traditional pay TV service. Fool.com, that's the Motley Fool website, reported that Roku has just struck a deal with its biggest competitor, Amazon-owned IMDb. That stands for International Movie Database. And this will allow the IMDb app to now be available on Roku streaming devices and Roku TVs. This free app had been competing with the Roku channel, which is, of course, Roku's ad-supported video-on-demand service that's very similar to IMDb. Amazon could potentially double the number of viewers for its IMDb movie content with this partnership. For what it's worth, IMDb was first launched on Amazon in January 2019 as IMDb Free Dive. I always thought that was kind of a dumb name. By the way, Roku's shares rose 148% during the 2020 year, and that was before this new deal to carry the IMDb movie app. Got some LG smartphone news. Probably will disappoint my friend Chris Rosinski, who's a big LG smartphone fan. From 9to5google.com is a report that LG has officially confirmed that it's considering leaving the smartphone market in 2022. LGE's CEO sent a memo to employees on January 27th, that's last Wednesday, saying that it's about time for the company to take a hard look and possibly make the best choice. LG had been considering several alternatives, including downsizing its smartphone business, withdrawing from the market entirely, and potentially even selling off its smartphone business and assets. A few days ago, LG, media in Korea reported that LG may sell to Vingroup, the third largest manufacturer, well, that would be smartphone manufacturer in Vietnam. Vinmark's billionaire owner is the wealthiest person in Vietnam. Though many LG products draw high praise for quality, I love LG TVs. Their smartphones haven't gained much traction in the US market. Even their flagship phones have consistently been bested by competitors such as Samsung and Apple. Software support, including Android updates, has also been an ongoing issue for LG smartphones. hopefully LG smartphones will see a better days in the future. Got some 5G news. On Friday, January 29th, that's just 3 days ago, Samsung introduced their new flagship Galaxy S21 phones. The S21 at $800 retail, the S21 Plus at $11,000, and the S21 Ultra starting at $1,200 retail. And I mean starting, it goes way up to, very high. Thankfully, good deals abound. Canadian carriers will have the Samsung Galaxy S21 line as well. In Canada, the S21 retails for $1,130 Canadian. The S21 Plus is $1,400, and the S21 Ultra starts at $1,650. As in the US, few will have to pay retail price. All three use the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor and have beefed up battery life and are drawing rave reviews for their cameras and other features. So why is this 5G news? Well, like the iPhone 12 series that I talked about last time, recently, these new Samsung S21 phones are able to receive both the 5G N71 band and the 5G N41 band. As mentioned in my Tech Talk 14 in late December, the 5G N71 band is a low band frequency that broadens 5G coverage in much less densely populated areas and along highways. By the way, the N in like N71 stands for new radio, which means 5G new radio. It's a 5G term. The 5G N41 band is a mid-band frequency using FWA, fixed wireless access, to bring 5G to millions of people living in residential areas, though at speeds less fast than high-band millimeter wave 5G. You may recall that I also suggested to not upgrade to a new 5G phone unless it was able to receive the N71 low band frequency. Of course, this goes for the N41 mid band and the super fast high band millimeter wave 5G frequencies as well. In future Tech Talk presentations, I plan to tell you more about the new Samsung Galaxy S21 phone line, as well as expand your knowledge about 5G's rollout during this year of 2021. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm sticking with it. But just a moment, I forgot something. Just remember, last Monday, my Tech Talk was followed by a drone video entitled Hardworking Man that was taken by Butch Andernacht, my TFS neighbor at Silveridge, with his new Mavic Mini 2 drone. Apparently Butch and our co-host Ron Brown were in cahoots in this spoof. Well, this photo shows the before, and I thought you might like to see the after. Here it is. Well, anyway, take care.
Well, thanks. Hey, Butch, we got to keep an eye on Dewey, eh?
I will do that.
All right. Keep so Dewey, you know, you're going to be under the microscope here for the next couple of months. So
I'll just have to hunker down more.
Yes, good fun. Yeah, that was very interesting. The Butch, I really liked that the video you did. That was man, the quality was so good on that.
And that was 1080p. It wasn't in 4K.
Wow, that is crazy, eh? Huh. Amazing. All right. Well, thank you, Dewey. That was really interesting stuff. Are you going to get the S21?
You know, I'm due for a new phone probably sometime this year, and probably I'll wait till it's refined and debugged a little bit more until I get it. I'll also try to report on some good places with good deals if I find them.
Yeah, I was noticing one of the deals, I can't remember what it was, but if you signed up for like 100 years to a service, you got a free S21 phone. So anyway, we'll see how that works out. Okay, now I want to share my screen again before we get, so what we're going to do is move on, and I'm going to get, Marshall, we'll get, you'll be up next. So I just want to give you a heads up on that, and we'll, I just wanted to go and show you something today. Let me share my screen. I was going to do a video on this, but I wanted to show everybody an interesting app in the app, or an interesting website, and this is software called Krisp, K-R-I-S-P. Now, what is Krisp and why should you maybe consider it? Well, first of all, Krisp is free, which is sort of cool. And it's available, and you can use it on your Windows machine, you can use it on your Mac, or you can use it on your iPhone, but it is not available for a Chromebook, and it's not available yet on your Android phone. So what is Krisp, and why should you maybe consider using it? Well, with all the video conferencing that we're doing, one of the most annoying things that happens is background noise, and noise that is coming from barking dogs, traffic noise, and so on and so forth, and that, or fans or air conditioners, and that can be really disruptive. Now, there are many ways that you can take noise out of your computer or your soundtrack. A lot of these are done after you've produced a recording, right? You take the soundtrack out, and you can run it through Audacity or another number of other programs, and you can clean up the soundtrack. But Krisp takes a different view of this. Krisp actually removes the sound before you record it, so it's a lot cleaner. Let me just come down here, and we're going to this is a barking dog. Now I'm going to play the barking dog, and you'll hear the person speaking with the dog barking in the background, and then I'm going to turn Krisp on, okay, and you'll see the difference. So watch as I play this.
If you can, try to show more of yourself. Push your camera back, push your computer back so you can show those hand gestures. Don't be afraid to just to get into a nice outfit if you must. It also feels a little bit more professional.
Or now let me play that again, and we're going to turn Krisp on. So now we'll see the button here. We're going to turn it on. Now let me play that again.
If you can, try to show more of yourself. Push your camera back, push your computer back so you can show those hand gestures. Don't be afraid to just to get into a nice outfit if you must. It also feels a little bit more professional.
So there you had your recording with and without it. Now, as we all are staying at home, and a lot of us are working at home, sometimes we don't have control of our environments. And sometimes, you know, maybe there's children. I remember this summer when my 3-year-old was here, I had to buy sort of a boom mic to put on my head because I couldn't use my Yeti because he was running around the house screaming and hollering, and, you know, 3-year-olds with bundles of energy. What about if you had a crying baby?
To summarize, we all agreed that we need to rewrite the contract. And with the banks, we'll take a step back and use our own capital instead to buy the remaining shares. So Linda, please get started on that and prepare the financial records as soon as possible so that we can send them to the shareholders tomorrow. We will have another call.
All right, let's play this with the Krisp on now.
When the contract gets finalized. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.
And one last, we'll play the family chatter in the background.
Good morning. I'm just calling to remind you that we have a meeting this coming Thursday at 10 a.m. in our office. Be sure to send me all the necessary files and the design materials prior to that. Also, if you remember, we didn't manage to finish your paperwork during your last visit, so please bring your documents with you and plan to arrive at least 15 minutes earlier so that we can set up everything before our meeting.
Do they have one for fan noise?
Yes, yes. There's a clipboard. This would give you the same as fan, This is someone with.
If you remember, we didn't
hear the
manage to
clicking of the
finish your
keyboard in the
paperwork
background?
during your last visit. So please bring your documents with you and plan to arrive at
click it on,
least
it goes
15 minutes earlier so that we can set up everything before.
So fan noise, keyboards, all sorts of background noise, it will eliminate it. Now, so it is software. You do download and install it. And again, I did it on my my Windows machine. And then what you do is it creates a virtual microphone, and you choose that in a Zoom meeting. You would choose that microphone rather than the microphone that you have. If you look at pricing, it is free. You get the current plan, the free version of this, you get 120 minutes a week. So it is pretty cool that you get 120 minutes free, which is because I do so much online work, that probably wouldn't completely work for me, but for many people it would be. I mean, that's pretty generous. It supports 800 plus communication apps. So, you know, it's widely available. If you need the Pro with the unlimited amount, Canadian wise, it's $5, so it's probably 50 cents US. I don't know what it is. You'll have to look on the US website, but Canadian is $5 a month. I've been playing around with it. I actually was going to do a video on this, and I still may do it. But it is a very it's a very interesting technology and works extremely well. And if you want more information, you can just go to the website called KRISP, and it's Krisp. So I thought I would.
Yesterday, Ron and I were talking about this, and he didn't realize that I had just started using it, and I did pay it is, I think US is $5 a month as well. And I had just paid for the update a day or two earlier. So I'm using it because a lot of times the TV's on the other side of the wall where I'm at, and the noise bleeds through, especially when I'm doing recordings. And what I have found, it when I use Krisp, it disappears. So it works very well.
It was pretty easy to set up, wasn't it, Huey?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really simple to do. So you might consider that, particularly if you have a situation where you have background noise. Oh, the other thing that happened was when I started recording and doing a lot of the recording I've done this winter. Of course, I'm never here in the winter, but my Yeti microphone here, the big one I have, picks up like when the storms are hitting and the rain's hitting the side of the house and the wind's howling. The microphone picks all that up, right? It's like background noise. So again, this is really very beneficial. So you might consider that. Marshall, are you ready to go?
Ready to rock and roll.
Do you want to share your screen and talk?
We got to. Thank you. And here we go. Good morning, everyone. Huey and I we're comrade in arms. 20 years ago, I had a aortic valve replacement, and then a year ago next month, I had a pacemaker installed. So he can relate to this very quickly and easily. Planning for the emergency, like the American Express card, never leave home without it, or $20 may save your life. That's what we're talking about today. Oops. And what we're talking about is, imagine this. You're driving along in your automobile when suddenly you're in a serious accident. You have injuries. You are unconscious. You have pre-existing medical conditions, which the first responders and or the ER doctor needs to know about. Now what? I'm trying to get these one at a time. I have contemplated such a scenario for a number of years. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I have mechanical aortic valve as well as a pacemaker, plus other less minor issues. Already discussed that. Next one. Since I am unconscious, the paramedics cannot ask me questions. I'm hoping they will notice the chain necklace I am wearing with the emergency symbol. It contains all the personal information they will need to treat me at the scene. If they happen to miss it, I am certain they will find it when I arrive at the ER and they undress me. In today's world, it's a reasonable expectation that the technical, I'm sorry, I can't read my full screen here. Let me see if I can move that. Indeed, I can. Okay, here we go. In today's world, it's a reasonable expectation that the technology will provide a simple media containing crucial patient information. After all, they chip animals, and hopefully humans will be next. The media is simple, small, and inexpensive, a USB drive. For less than 20 bucks, a person can easily create their own PIN, personal emergency information necklace, on their computer and make updates as necessary. The next slide displays the recommended list of documents which should be included. It is very important that all documents be in the PDF format. All popular apps and platforms have the capability to save and also to read PDF formats. Here's the recommended documents, and you can add as you see fit. Everybody is going to be a little different. Owner information, driver's license, emergency contacts, health surrogate, insurance cards, living will, medication list, optical information, physician lists, upon death instructions. These should all be in PDF format. Here's what the thing looks like. Basically, it's a drawing, but nevertheless, it is the same. And of course, as you can see, it puts the same thing as far as what information should be in there. What is required? A flash drive, 2 to 8 gigabytes, Walmart, less than 10 bucks. A beaded neck chain, Walmart, less than $6. And those of us who are ex-military can relate to the dog tags. I think it may. Let me step one more up here. Samples for documents for your state are easily found on the internet. It's interesting to note that those of us, oh, I'm just making it again. It's interesting to note that those of us who served in the military have memories of wearing dog tags 24/7. The dog tags of yesteryear contained blood type and religious preferences only. The chain and or flash drive is available at many stores, Walmart, Target, Amazon, and others. Live long and prosper. Those were Spock's last words. I did find one online in the last $3.18. It's a 4 gigabyte, $1.30 tax and shipping at www.wish.com. Okay. Questions, anyone?
Just a comment. I just saw a video last week. People in Sweden are getting microchips embedded in their under their skin, and it's really gaining in popularity there. Quite a high percentage have already gotten these chips embedded.
I'm aware of that, and the problem is the people in many countries, including the U.S., feel like it's an invasion of privacy, and I think they're entitled to decide what they want to do. Me, I hope to be first in line when they offer that. Obviously, this is the precursor to what we're talking about. I wear my chip. I mean, when I wear my necklace 24/7, it's no problem. Well, I don't wear it 24/7 because I take a shower every day. But the point being, it's very inexpensive, and I have comfort in knowing that if something happens, I got a reasonable chance. Just as a point of interest, when I first thought this idea up, I put it on my keychain for my car. I thought, well, that's where it'll be. And then it occurred to me one day driving along, you know, if I'm in an accident, they're not going to be concerned with the keys. They're not going to look on my keys or anything. They're going to look at me, and they're going to load me up and get me going, or whatever the case might be. So that's what was the genesis for a neck deal. So, I mean, and there can be variations. The point being is that you need to have the information available for the physicians when you get to the ER.
I guess you could just put all that information on any old pen drive that you have sticking around. Could you not? I mean, you wouldn't need that
certainly.
Special app. Yeah, you wouldn't need that special app.
No. There's no special app involved. This is all done. You do it on. I did all of the preparation for my information on Word, and then saved it as a PDF, and boom. Because, you know, like many of us, our medications changed. For example, or in my case, my doctor retired and I had to put a new doctor in. So the information has to be changeable from time to time. And
Marshall, did you label the outside of the disc in any way? Did you put, so I know you have it around your neck.
see it right there?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I put the international symbol for assistance, medical assistance.
Okay, great. Now, Chris and Jim Gould in the chat had said something. They had suggested maybe putting a QR code on the outside, and you can even have the QR code linked to a website with your information on it.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. That is, and I will do that. That is a super idea.
Right. And you,
because yes, I do maintain the same information on the internet, so that if someone else in my family, for example, would need it, but the idea of having that connected to a site like that would be perfect.
Yeah, we could also have our wills on it.
Yeah, I belong to a company called Medical Alert, and I've been wearing these dog tags for years, and you can see the actual Medical Alert one, which comes with information that they engrave on the back. And since I also go walking every day, I have my personal information, address, and phone number on a separate dog tag I got from Amazon, where they engraved it into stainless steel. The silencer I had from other dog tags, but you can buy those so they don't rattle, you know, when you're wearing them.
You know where else you can get those dog? You know where else you can get the dog tags?
Military
At PetSmart.
surplus.
PetSmart.
Ah, yes.
Chris
Stainless steel.
Rosinski. Chris has his hand up. Chris, do you want to unmute?
Yes, just a comment. I've been in more emergency rooms in doctor's office in the last couple of years, going back and forth across the country, and I want to talk about, but at least twice in the hospitals and emergency rooms, and one or twice, I can't remember, the doctor's offices, I've had this stuff on a thumb drive, and they refuse to put it in their computers because they're afraid it's got viruses or something on it. So I'm taking it with you, doesn't do any good. You hold it up and they say, oh, and we won't put that in. But the idea of the QR code and for them to be able to go out on an internet site and find it sounds like a really good idea, and I think I'll do that now, because it doesn't work. Well, it hasn't worked in most cases with the thumb drive. It just doesn't. They won't read it.
Interesting, Chris, that we ran into that same issue here in Sarasota, and we're working on it. The Sarasota Technology Users Group is in the process of dealing with the ERs by saying, we will furnish you a computer exclusively for this purpose that will not connect to your system whatsoever. And they are interested in doing that. So we're gonna follow that through.
If you're located in one place, it works. But I go from Arizona to Maine to Michigan and back, and that's happened in several states. So I can't always depend on them having one and being able to do it. But the QR code sounds like a neat idea. Thank you.
Well, and yeah, you're right. You're going to run into situations, but at least you have it. You know, and that's the way I feel about it. You know?
Thanks so much.
Where would you put the QR code? Where would you put the QR code?
On the outside of the device,
right,
where it's readable.
How do you create it?
It's a metal device. How would you put it on there?
Well, the wrapper that you see there with the insignia is done, and it's wrapped in a strong vinyl, like a shipping tape, and it will hold well because the only thing it touches is my body. As a matter of fact, the one I have. Can you see my? You can't see my image, can you?
How do you create the QR code for it?
Oh, I don't have the QR code, but that's what I'm saying. It's a good idea.
No, but somebody suggested that, and I wondered how you create.
There are software. There is software that does create. Marshall, do you want to just unshare your screen? There is software that will create a QR code for you, and maybe that's an issue. Huey, maybe we should bring that up next week. Maybe we'll do a segment on how to create a QR code.
One of us will have to do some research and put it together. Yep.
I'm thinking you had a lot of time off this week. Maybe you want to do that.
I'll take a look at it.
All right. Very good. Did you unshare your screen?
I did not. How do I do that?
Just go down to the bottom and you'll see, Lemmy, if I share my screen, we'll kick you off. There you go.
Yeah, I just did it.
Okay.
No, you're still shared. It just, you closed it down. Hit the
Stop
top.
sharing.
There
There
you
you
go.
There you go. There you go. All right, Ray, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to sign off on the, I think we'll move into your music segment now. Is that okay? And we'll hold your other talk for next week.
Fine. Well, you're in charge. That'll work fine.
Is that okay? All right, great. Well, so listen, thank you so much. I do want to give everybody an update. I am having a lot of fun with my Oculus Quest. And I am doing a lot of some exercise and experimenting, and I'm figuring out what I'm going to use it for. So I do plan on having a series of about 5 videos coming up. We'll play them every couple of weeks and just give you an update on what I'm doing with it. And so, but I am having a lot of fun, and we'll be giving you more information on that. For all of those who are now on our live stream, I'm going to be signing off. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We have, I guess we have about 10 watching over on live stream right now. So we are going to sign off. You will be able to watch the whole show by this evening when it will be up on our YouTube site. So I'll let you get on with it, Ray. Let's and then we will be going into our question and answer. So I'll turn it over to you, Ray. My toes are tapping. My toes are tapping.
Very good. I always like that. That's a good sign. All right, let me share my screen here, and let me, before we get into the music, I'm going to take just a minute or less to talk about a little snowstorm we had here. It snowed for about a day and a half, finally stopped. I went outside to look for my car. Oops. That's not what I wanted. I went out to look for my car and I couldn't find it.
Oh no.
What happened to my car? So let's see if I can, always in the way.
Where are you, Ray?
I'm in the central mountain, right in the center of the state of Arizona, but up in the mountains. We're about 5,500 feet in elevation. So we do get the 4 seasons. The good news is most of the winter, it comes and it gets warmer. Like it's in the 40s right now. It'll probably be in the 50s today. So this melts pretty quick, but it wasn't melting there. So I'm going to have to actually close this and go to the second one. Anyway, it took me a whole day to get the car out. And but the last comment I'm going to make is what's nice about living in the mountains. I had a neighbor, didn't ask him, just automatically came over when he saw me out there. He has a Jeep like this, big 4-wheel drive, and just went up and down the driveway and really packed it down so I could move the car. And then a second neighbor, about an hour later, came with a huge plow. He does construction. He just plowed it, didn't ask me, just, this is what's great about having neighbors in a small community. All right.
Great thing about neighbors.
All right, Jimmy Rogers.
Oh, wow.
So there's been more than one famous singer named Jimmy Rogers, an old blues singer from back in the early 1900s. But today I'm focusing on the one who sadly passed away at his home in Palm Desert, California last month at the age of 87. It's really difficult for me to classify Jimmy Rogers in any particular genre. Songs like Honeycomb, Kisses Sweeter Than Wine, and Secretly, they've showed up on the Billboard pop charts. They were on country and Western charts, even R&B charts. So, and I certainly wouldn't categorize his songs as rock and roll either. They were just good old fashioned pop. So he was a Washington State native, served in the Air Force during the Korean War. And then when he was stationed in Nashville, that's where he received his introduction to becoming a recording star. So 3 years ago, I made the 18-hour round trip, and this wasn't the first time I did something like this, from my home here in Central Arizona to Southern California for the sole purpose of attending an oldie stage show. So I drove 18 hours to watch a 2.5-hour stage show. But interestingly, Jimmy Rogers was still performing there, and he was one of the acts there. And considering that Rogers basically lost his voice and ability to sing and even talk for many years, I was pleasantly surprised to hear him sounding pretty much the same as he did in 1957 when he began recording. So I'm going to show now is a video clip from that year in 1957 with Patty Page introducing Jimmy Rogers as he sings Kisses Sweeter Than Wine.
Another favorite. Wow.
I want you to keep me coming back.
Boy, you never run out of, it's interesting. The sad part about it is, though, every day on the news now, there's a great musical artist that's died, and they play on the news, they play the song that they were famous for. So you have an easy job, Ray, of finding somebody, because it's amazing. I mean, these old people are they're dying really on a great regularity now, eh?
Well, the generation that we knew, of course, is at that age, and then COVID-19 is not helping it.
Oh man, yeah, it's really, Well, listen, thank you so much. You know what? It's 10 o'clock. It's top of the hour. I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank, of course, our live stream guests have gone, but I want to thank everybody that came today. We all appreciate it. The staff at Tech for Seniors works hard to produce these shows, and thank you so much for everybody and all the content that they create. Huey, where'd you go? Huey left. Oh, he'll be back in a second.
The building.
Yeah, he'll be back in a second. Ray, thank you so much for coming and doing your presentation. And Dewey, you're going to have something for us next week?
I certainly plan to.
Yes, thank you so much. I want to thank Chris and Jim Gould, if they're still here. Be sure and Geeks on Tour, they have their show on Sunday afternoon called The Button Show. And I've been watching that for years and years and years, and I wouldn't miss it. I was so upset last Sunday when you didn't have it. So please.
Okay, here's your $1, man. You can, thank you very much. We appreciate you. This is good stuff.
So thanks for that. And I don't know where Huey went, but hopefully he'll be back. We will be continuing on now with the question and answer segment for the next 15, 20 minutes. So for those of you who want to head on, that's fine. For those of you who want to stay, we will do the question and answer. It works really well if at the bottom under reactions, if you click on the reactions, you can raise your hand. Now, the nice thing about raising your hand is it brings your picture right up to the top of the screen, and I can see it. Otherwise, I can't see it. So if you want to raise your hand, then it brings you up to the top of the screen. So we'll start with Bill. Bill, do you have any comments or questions?
I just had, excuse me, I just had a question, or I guess a comment for Ray. His videos are always jerky. And I wondered if he clicked the little button on the bottom where it says share and it says optimize video. Maybe that would smooth those out and they would be even more enjoyable than they are now.
Thank you for your comment, Bill. You're absolutely right. There's the two choices on the bottom about sharing computer audio and optimized for video. And there's a red herring in the optimized for video, because if you do that, then most of the time text on the screen is difficult to read. And I didn't click on optimize, and I should have today. What I'm going to do going forward is when I'm showing text, I will have optimize off. But then before I go into the actual video, I'll turn it on, and that'll correct the problem. Thank you for your comment, Bill. I appreciate it.
All right, and Bill,
You're
don't
welcome.
forget. And Bill, don't forget that in the recorded, in the taped version, in the show notes at the bottom, I always put the links to the videos. So if you want to watch them again, you can certainly do that on our recorded version. Jay, you have your hand up.
Hi. I was very interested in the virtual reality presentation. I think it was last week. And I have an ailing relative who really likes to travel, but can't travel because he is ailing so badly. So I started to explore it with him and his knowledgeable son. And he said Oculus has a significant issue now that it has joined forces with Facebook, and you have to have a Facebook account. And somewhere in the terms and conditions, Facebook does not allow for you to make up a phantom name. So I just caution anybody who's going to pursue that. You could get in trouble for it.
Right, and I'll be speaking to that when I do my video. Let me say, first of all, Facebook bought Oculus a number of years ago, and they put a lot of money into Oculus, and that is why it is probably the most popular headset in VR right now. And that's also the reason that you can buy it for $300 and not $1,200. Now, it is true you do need a Facebook account, but you don't actually have to have Facebook. You don't actually have to have Facebook and be on Facebook. You don't have to have a Facebook presence at all. One of the reasons they want you to have a Facebook account is because you have to go to a lot of the software, a lot of the games or whatever you're going to use is purchased through their store. And so that's the mechanism by which it works. And that's why you have to have an account. If you didn't have a Facebook account, well, you'd have the software that came with it. But it would be, it's a lot like Google in the Play Store. You wouldn't be able to download a lot of software. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. It's not like you have to have a Facebook presence, but you do have to have a Facebook account, and you are correct.
There's a second question that goes along with it. Do many people experience nauseousness from using virtual reality?
Well, I can give you just my 1 week review of that. I don't get sick very much. I've been using my Oculus set for about 2 hours a day, experimenting with different things. And the only time I felt a little bit nauseated was on this crazy roller coaster ride I went on, which was just insane. And when I was flying along with that, I felt a little bit, whoa, this is a bit woozy. But for the type of stuff that I think I'm going to be recommending, cycling on a bike and stuff like that, I don't think I experience no nausea. But some people are very motion sickness prone, and you have to be careful with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Murray.
Longer. I think he only goes for 15.
Okay, I just wanted to share something here. Can I share my screen?
Go ahead. Oh, just a minute here. Let me just see if I can. Let's see, allow. Let's see here. Just a minute. I'll make you co-host. Make co-host. There you go.
It's under security. You can just allow security. Don't make them co-host.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Murray.
Okay, what I want to do is I want to show. I'll show this first, and this is. Is that showing? Just a second here.
No.
Oh, I got to say start share. And so I will just go full screen. I mentioned this before.
That's pretty cool.
Jesus.
Just cover the book,
Yeah.
page by page.
So Murray, that's just an app?
What does this get you?
Huh?
What does this get you?
You want to copy a page from a book, I guess.
Okay, and then I just got to show you how I got set up for me because it works with both iPad and whatever. Let's see if I can. I might have to stop sharing and share again. Well, let's try this first. Let's see.
Ron, we may have some other questions and so on. This could be maybe a
Oops,
session.
that's all right. This
of a
is
future
this
meeting.
is how I have it set up. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, I got a couple of these holders, one for the iPad and one for the phone, and I basically set it on a tripod. You'll put it over on a chair, and this is a typical setup that you can see how the curvature of the book is. I could also be holding the pages flat, and this application will take it'll not only flatten it, take out the shading that occurs along the edges here or in the center fold, but it will also, if you're holding it with your finger, it'll remove your finger from it. So it is a really cool application, and that's the poor man's version of that fancy scanner that we saw a few weeks ago. So I just thought I would share that with everybody.
Murray, that's great. Would you maybe, when we have a little more time, would you be able to do maybe a 10-minute segment and show us how you do it?
I will do that.
I think that would be the best thing, because I think a lot of people would have some questions about that. That's really great.
Yeah, well, and then I'll have had more time to play with it, because
I
really only found out about it last week, and so I'll stop sharing now.
Thanks so much. That's great. Hey, that's cool. Amazing what you find. Yes, Jim.
Two questions, or one suggestion and questions. I'm running off a Chromebook, and I noticed that it does not have a lot of the controls that the Windows machine has. Like, for instance, it doesn't have the reactions. When I go to share my screen, it doesn't have the share sound or improve video. Is there different versions for Chromebooks, or is that just a peculiarity of the Chromebook?
There's two ways, Jim, that you can do it. It depends if you're using the Android app. There's two ways on a Chromebook to be able to connect to Zoom. One is through the web hosting service, so you use it through your browser, right? Go to Zoom and go and use it through your browser. The second way is to use the Android app, which of course is the app that will go on your phone, which has limited functionality for a Zoom, right? It doesn't have all the controls.
Okay, well, I'm running this through the browser. I have not downloaded any apps except
you're running it through
for
the
the
browser.
calendar.
Okay, so then that would be a limitation on this hardware of your computer.
But is it all Chromebooks or just this particular version?
I believe it's all Chromebooks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. My suggestion is based on a question that one of the members of my computer club asked me. And that was, she was having trouble getting a network set up. And I was thinking this might make a good topic, especially since people are using so many different platforms at home. You know, somebody has a Windows 10 like I do, a Chromebook. Someone else I know is also running Linux, and an iPhone and Macs. Might be an interesting program, and I would like it myself, frankly, to be able to learn how to set that up for the various platforms on your network. I mean, all of my stuff runs off of my wireless network, but they don't work as the network where I can use one computer to get to another computer, etc.
So Huey and I will bring this up. We'll talk about it, Jim, and we will. This is a learning Chromebooks. We'll bring this up. Huey and I will discuss this, and we'll maybe bring it up at our next learning Chromebooks session.
Okay, the network is more than just Chromebooks, though. I mean, that covers everything.
Right.
Windows, Chromebook, Linux, Apple.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
We'll work on it. Any other questions? Jeff?
Yeah, what software did you use for the introduction to the meeting?
That we get a lot of comments on that, eh? Yeah. So Huey, do you want to mention that? Huey did it.
It's one that I I bought quite a while ago. It's called Doodly, Doodly. Uh, they advertise a lot. They sponsor on Facebook, and I've seen it at other places as well. It's $67 to buy the software, $67, another $67 to be able to use the videos other than just for yourself. And you get extra people and characters and so on. And then there's a learning. So, and then they also have like a subscription to get more people and props and so on. So they're always trying to get money from you, but I've been using it now for a couple of years. I did a couple of projects for some clients using it, and so I've paid for it finally. But it's fun. It's called Doodly, Doodly. There are a couple of similar programs out there, and they're all in that same price range. $67 to get you in, and then they got all kinds of extras after that. So they're not cheap, and you're not going to use them a lot, but if you've got some use for them, they are fun.
Any other questions? Yes, Roberta, unmute yourself.
How do you find the raise your hand? My reactions don't have one. It has clap and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Really?
You need to update your version of Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I use Road ID. I have a thing on my watch. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. That has my personal information engraved. It's for people that run and walk and are out without their wallet and so on. And there's an ID inside that hooks to a website, and the doctor can go to the website and get all your information. I put it on the chat, the link on the chat.
One of the things that I think, I've worked in the emergency department for many years. One of the things that you should be aware is the doctors don't do this. I mean, when you come into the emergency department and you are in a bad way, usually the doctors are in with you in the examining room. It's usually the nursing or administrative staff that will take your personal information and try to figure out what it is. And it comes back to what Marshall was saying earlier, is you have to make it easy. If you have to, open something up, open a PDF up, put this stick in the computer, are they going to do that? It's a QR code. I thought for what Jim and Chris recommended was really a great idea. I think it just depends on the level of technology that those people have in the emergency department at that time.
This just has a website number that they go to, and then the information is there. They don't have to put anything in a computer.
Right. Any other Sexton?
Yeah, one of the things you can do is do a QR code and then print out your really pertinent information, allergies and current medication, and stick it on your driver's license. The EMT will get your driver's license to figure out who to Sam Hill you are. And then they can give a heads up to the emergency room. Then if they need the information from they can go for the QR code, but everybody will look at your driver's license. The tag is unique and takes equipment, and a lot of emergency rooms don't have a computer that they can plug the thing in.
Right.
In British Columbia, the place to put it would be on your medical emergency or your British Columbia identity card, which is your medical card, because they always look for that first in British Columbia. So, no matter where you go, if it's got anything to do with medical, that's the first thing they want to see, is that your personal identification card, which looks a lot like a driver's license, but right on it, it says this is not a driver's license. But even people who don't drive will have one of those in British Columbia.
On my medical alert dog tag, part of the deal is when they engrave the dog tag, you can list I can list my various medical conditions. so they can just take a look and see what an allergy is, or I have a liver, kidney, intestinal problems. They're all listed there.
Right.
So just a quick look at the dog tag itself says, oh, this guy's got blah, 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 right there.
Carl, we'll give Carl the last question. Unmute yourself.
I'm trying to unmute. I got a question for Chris and Jim on your video. I subscribe to your Geeks on Tour, but how do I do a search for your program on password system?
Okay, I put the link in the chat, but
oh, okay. I see it now. Okay, you read my question. Okay.
Yeah, I saw it.
Thank you. I'm done. Have a great week, guys.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much. It's now 10:20. Hopefully we've answered your questions. We will see everyone back again next week. Huey, you'll be back. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to you. You had disappeared.
Yeah, I disappeared. I got one of my doctors called me.
Oh, okay. So
and they didn't ask for my dog tag either.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for coming, and we will end the meeting now, and we will see everyone back next Monday.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.